Hello children, let's come back to our maths class. Today we are going to continue with exercise 1.6. In the previous class already we have seen some sums from exercise 1.6s. That is, we have completed till sum number 3. Today we are going to continue with sum number 4. Children, take down your class work. Write down today's date, today's day, and write down question number 4. Take down the fourth question. In a class, all students take part in either music or drama or both. 25 students take part in music, 30 students take part in drama, and 8 students take part in both music and drama. Find, the first part is the number of students who take part in only music. Second, the number of students who take part in only drama. The third one, the total number of students in the class. So this is a question. You have to take down the question, children. Take down the question. Do not waste your time. You have to be quick. Be fast, children. Take down the question. You have to write on all the subparts also. In a class, all students take part in either music or drama or both. 25 students take part in music, 30 students take part in drama, and 8 students take part in both music and drama. So we have to find out the number of students who take part only in music, and also you have to find out the number of students who take part only in drama, and also we have to find out the total number of students in the class. I hope you are ready with the questions. Let's proceed with the answer. Here we have to draw a Venn diagram. Let's draw a Venn diagram. It will be easy to solve this sum using a Venn diagram. Okay, children? So you have to take your scale, and if you have a pro circle, use your pro circle for drawing the Venn diagram. So you're going to draw a rectangular box. And here the question is about the children who take part in different extracurricular activities. Like some are taking part in music, some are taking part in drama, and some children take part in both drama and music. So we are going to represent this information in the form of Venn diagram. So we have two curricular activities, that is extracurricular activities we can say here. One is music and one is drama. So you have to draw two circles. The first one shows the detail about music. I'm just representing music as M, and one more is drama, and I'm going to represent the set of drama as D. I'll put here M represents here, M represents the number of students. Here they have given about students, yes, they have not given children, so we'll put here student. Number of students who take part in music. Here M represents the number of students who take part in music. D represents the number of, so you can put number, NO, and you can put dot. Number of students who take part in drama. In music, take part in drama. So we have to explain the sets. Like I have taken M and I have taken D. So you have to explain what is M and what is D. So what is M here? M is the number of children who is going to take part in music, and D is the number of children who is going to take part in drama. So just get ready with your Venn diagram. Just put your M and D. M is for music, D is for drama. Now we have to fill the details over here. Just complete the work till here, children. Get ready with your work. Write down the points neatly. You have to write down one below the figure about M and D. Be careful. Do not use small letter. You have to write the capital letter for representing a set. Have you taken on the point, children? Okay. Now just stop writing down, children. Just put your pens down. Stop your writing work and listen to me. This is very, very important. You have to understand how to fill the Venn diagram. Okay. Once you are clear with the concept, it will be easy for you to go for the further sums. So just understand the concept clearly. Put your pens down and listen to me carefully, children. Now the question says that in a class, all students take part in either music or drama or both. That means the child may take part in music, the child may take part in drama, and the child may take part in both music and drama. Now this is the intersection part. Intersection part means common part. That means whatever children, when the number of children that comes over here, they will be the children who is taking part in both music and drama. So here, this part or the intersection part gives you the information of the children taking part in both music and drama. And this part, that is just, when I just leave the intersection part, I'm not going to focus on the intersection part. If I just take this part, just be careful, a crescent moon, if I take this part, I get the information of the children or the information of the students who take part only in music. And if I talk about this area, if I talk about this area, I am going to get the information of number of students who is going to take part only in drama. Okay, so these are the different areas that you have to focus on. Okay, 25 students take part in music. So they have given here 25 students take part in music. So I am just filling in place of M, or in the set M, I am filling the detail as 25. Next, 30 students take part in drama. So how many children are going to take part in drama? 30. So mention there 30. Okay, now 8 students take part in both music and drama. So 8 children, that 8 students are common for music and drama. The 8 students go for music as well as drama. Okay, children? Now here, the thing is, you have to find out the children or the number of students who is going to take part only in music. Only music. I don't want the drama. I want only music. Listen here carefully. I have told you to stop your writing work and listen to me carefully. Okay, so now we were having 2 sets. One was for music and one was for drama. Yes, children? And they have given you the information that 25 children are taking part in music and 30 students take part in drama, and 8 is for both music and drama. Now here the question is to find out the number of students who take only in music. That is, they are going to take part only in music. So now what I am going to do is, I don't want the intersection, but I told you when I am talking about only music, I have to cover only this area. You just see the area, children. I have already shaded the area. So you are going to focus on this area. So if you focus on this area, you will get the number of students who take part only in music. So how to find out that? Okay, now what are you going to do is, now you have, that is in M, you have 8 also. So now you are going to remove the 8. That means you are going to subtract 8 from 25. Are you clear, children? If you subtract 8 from 25, you will get only the information about the students who take part only in music. Are you getting my point? So what is the answer? If you subtract 8 from 25, what do you get? You get the answer as 17. 15 minus 8, 7, 70. Same manner, if you just go for drama, if you have to find out the number of children taking part only in drama. See here, when you talk about drama, this whole circle represents the information about drama, yes? But I just want the number of students who is going to take part only in drama. That means I don't want the common area. Are you getting my point, children? What you don't want the common area. That means we are going to remove the common area. So how are you going to remove the common area? Just subtract 8 from 30. Just remove 8 from 30. So if you remove 8 from 30, what is left here? 22. Okay, children, now you fill the details. You have to fill the details using pencil. Fill the details using pencil. I hope you can view it clearly. Yeah. Right. 25 minus 8 gives you 17, and 30 minus 8. That means this part, the like a shape, you know, this is like a crescent moon. You can see the shape of a moon over here. So this part shows only the children or number of students who take part in music, and this part gives you only the information of students who take part in drama. Okay. I'm not going to take the common part. I don't want the common part, so I'm just subtracting from 8 here. I'm going to subtract 8 from here. Okay, so we have finished the Venn diagram. I hope you were clear with this Venn diagram. Any doubt over here, children? No. Very good. Okay, now let's go for the answer part. We have 3 subparts to be done. Yes, children? So let's write down the answer for the first subpart. No need to take down the question once again. You have written already the questions, yes? So no need to take down the questions. First the Venn diagram, then here we have explained what we have taken in the Venn diagram. We have taken some symbols over here, some alphabets over here. So we have explained what is M, and we have explained what is D. Now let's go for the answer part. What is the first part? The number of students who take part in only music. So write down the answer. Number of students who take part in only music. Who take part only in music is equal to number of students who take part only in music. So I'm just worried about the music part. I don't want the remaining part. I'm just going to focus on the music part. So what is the number of children taking part in music? It's 17. So put here the answer is 17, because we are going to focus on the number of students who take part only in music. So it's 17. Let's go for the second subpart. So we have completed the first subpart, children. That is, I just get the answer directly from the Venn diagram. So if you are able to complete the Venn diagram properly, we can find the answer directly from the Venn diagram. Let's go for the second subpart. The number of students who take part in only drama. So number of students who take part only in drama is equal to the number of students who take part only in drama. How many children is going to take part only in drama? Just leave the remaining part, focus only on the drama part. So 30 minus 8, it is 22. So the answer is 22 here. This is equal to 22. And the final sub-question, what's the question given to you? The total number of students in the class. So we have to find out the number of students in the class. So put here, number of students in the class is equal to. So we have to find out the total number of students. So you are going to add all the answers. So how are you going to find out? See here, children, you are going to take this number. This is 17 only for music, 22 only for drama, and 8. This is for both music and drama. So how to find out the final answer? You have to add all the answers. So you have to write down here, number of students in the class is equal to 17. Now 17 is the number of children who take part only in music. So this till here, okay? So till here you get the answer 17. Now when you focus on the common part, the answer is 8. So plus 8. And when you focus only on the drama part, the answer is 22. So you have to add all these numbers. I'll just do the additions over here. 8 plus 2, 10. 10 plus 7, 17, 1, 2, 4, 47. So the answer is 47. So number of students in the class is equal to 47. I hope you were clear with this sum. Very easy thing. Just try to fill the details in the Venn diagram. And once you fill the Venn diagram, automatically we get all the required answers. Okay, children, so this was sum number 4. Yes? Now, homework from exercise 1.6, sum number 5. From exercise 1.6, sum number 5 will be a homework. Okay? You have to try out the sum using a Venn diagram. You have to draw a Venn diagram. Try to get the answer in this format. Okay, children? Okay. Now, take down the 6th question. You have to take down the 6th question. Take down the 6th question. Okay, let's read what's the question over there. You have to take down the question, children. The question is a big question, yes? You have to take it. In an examination, 50% of the students passed in mathematics. Okay, so 50% of the students passed in mathematics and 70% of students passed in science, and or the saying while 10% students failed in both subjects. Okay. So they have given you some informations here. 50% of the student, it's been passed in mathematics, and 70% of the students passed in science, okay? And 10% students failed in both the subjects. So 300 students passed in both the subjects. So how number of students who have passed the subject? It is 300. Find the total number of students who appeared in the examinations. So we have to find out the total number of students appeared in the examination if they took examination in only 2 subjects. So you are going to focus on the number of students who took part in the examination or who appeared in the examination for only 2 subjects. That is, they should be appeared or they should be appearing only for maths and science. Okay, children? So take on the question. Write on the question. No one is going to skip the question. We have to write the question and the answer so that when you just prepare for your maths, it will be easy. You have the question and the answer with you. No one is going to write the answers directly. Ready with the question, children? You have to be quick. Okay, let's go for the answer part, children. Write down fast. In an examination, 50% of the students passed in mathematics. So percentage of the student who passed in maths, what is the percentage of students passing in mathematics? It is 50%. So write down the statement here. So I hope you have taken down the question. So now let's go with the answer part. Write down. Percentage of students passed in mathematics. Just write down here. Actually, when you just say, you say maths, but actually, the correct, when you just go for wherever you go, and if you fill for the details of your subject, you have to fill it as mathematics. You are not going to write down maths over there, okay? You have to write mathematics. Just it's for our common conversation. Just when we talk to each other, when we just talk about that subjects, we use the term as maths. We just use the short form of mathematics as maths. But if you fill any form, or if you just go for your exams, there all you have to fill the detail as mathematics. Okay, children? So here also you will write down mathematics. Percentage of students passed in mathematics. This is 50%. Okay, so this many children have passed in mathematics. So always whenever you talk about percentage, we always talk about 100%. We talk about 100. So now if 50% of students passed in mathematics, that means what is the percentage of students they are going to fail in mathematics? 50% is passed. So the failure, it will be 50%. So mention here, therefore, percentage of students failed in mathematics. Therefore, percentage of students failed in mathematics. So this was a statement given to us. They have given that 50% have passed in mathematics. So we have found the number of students who, or not number of students, we have found the percentage of students who failed in mathematics. So have you taken down? Okay. Now let's go for the next statement. What have they given you? They given you that 70% of the students passed in science. 70% of the students passed in science. So write down here, percentage of students passed in science. How many percentage of students have passed in science? It's 70%. So mention here 70%. Do not go on writing in a single line, children. Try to write the statement in 2 lines and just put a bracket over there and write down. So try to write down all the numbers one below the other. So the presentation will look neat. Actually, the way of presenting a word problem is the numbers to be written one below the other. This is the correct way. Write down. So percentage of students passed in science is equal to 70%. So now you are going to write down the next statement. Come on, complete the next statement, children. Complete the next statement. You have to talk about the percentage of students failed in science. Percentage of students failed in science. That is, if 70% of the student is being passed, so what are left out numbers, children? Out of 100, 70% is being cleared out. So how many children have not cleared the examination? 30%. 70 plus 30, 100. So percentage of students failed in science is equal to 30%. Okay, now let's move to the next statement. So we have also written the statement for 70% of the students passed in science. We have one more statement, 10% students failed in both subjects. 10% of students failed in both the subjects. That means it is common, 10% of the student, it's failing in science as well as maths. Okay, children, so we have to write down that percentage. Let us write down the percentage. Write down. Continue one below the other. Percentage of students failed in both science and maths. You can put here science and mathematics. So what is the percentage of students failed in both science and mathematics? It's 10%. So mention here 10%. Okay, are you clear with these details? These are the details that was being given in the question itself. Okay. Now let's move to the next statement. Before we move to the next statement, let's try to write some of the details over here. Now just see here, children. Here you are being given with the detail of percentage of students failed in both. Okay, failed in both science and mathematics. So what are you going to do is, you are going to just focus on the percentage of failed. Okay, we are not going to see the percentage of passed. We are just going to focus on the percentage of students who failed in both the subjects separately. So I am going to focus on the failed part for mathematics, and also we are going to focus on the failed part for science. So you have to write down here as N of A. Take down the percentage of students failed in mathematics as N of A, and write down the percentage of students failed in science as N of B. And now here, this is a common. So you know what is the symbol used for common? Yes, you have to use intersection. And since we are dealing with the number of students, like percentage of students, what does it gives you? It gives you the number. So you are going to use n. Now what is the meaning of n of a? N of a means the number of students. It is a cardinal number. You have studied about cardinal number. Yes, children? Yes. So n of a represents the cardinality. So here you are going to write down as n of a intersection b. I hope you are clear with this points, children. Take down the points. So percentage of students failed in both science and mathematics is equal to 10% is equal to n of a intersection b. So now I have got the value for n of a, n of b and n of a intersection b, and now you are going to find out n of a union b. Let's find out n of a union b here. So before you write n of a union b, you have to mention what is a union b. What is a union b? You see here, percentage of students failed in both. When it is both, you have to write a intersection b. Now you are talking about union. Now what is the meaning of union? Union is a combination. So you write down percentage of student failed in at least one of the subject. At least one of the subject. This is equal to n of a union b. At least one of the subject means at least, at the least. At the least means the person or the student can be failed in one subject, or he can be failed in more than one subject. At least is, the least number should be 1. The highest number can be any number. I want at least 5 rupees. I want at least 5 rupees. That means the minimum number of amount that I should get is 5. I can get 5 rupees, I can get 6 rupees, I can get 7 rupees. Or you can say that boy wants at least 10 pence. At least 10 pence. What do you mean by at least 10 pence? The minimum number of pen he should get is 10. He can get 10, he can get 11, he can get 12, but he should not go below 10. So at least gives you the information of the minimum number. Okay. So percentage of students who failed in at least one of the subject. You have to write it down n of a union b. Union means here you are going to take the subject science or subject mathematics. That is, a student can fail. He would have failed in maths and science also, at least 1 or 2. Okay. So this is equal to n of a union b. So there is a difference in these two statements, children. Here you may ask, they both looks the same. There is a difference, children. Percentage of students failed in both. Both means the students has failed in science and mathematics. Here compulsorily or here surely or confidently you can say the student has failed in both the subjects. So I have just used here intersection. It is common. But here I don't have a assurance that the students has failed in both the subject. He would have failed in 1 or 2. 1 or 2. Here I have a choice. Here I don't have a choice. So you have to take it as n of a union b. Okay, children? So now we have already studied the formulas for cardinality in our previous exercise. I'm going to use a formula here. N of a union b is equal to n of a plus n of b minus n of a intersection b. Do you remember this formula? This was the formula we dealt with cardinality of sets. So n of a union b is equal to n of a plus n of b minus n of a intersection b. Okay. So now let's substitute the values that we know. Put on the values. I know the value for n of a. I know the value for n of b. And also I know the value for n of a intersection b. Come on, let's substitute the value. So this is 50 plus failed in science. Okay, so 30 minus 10. So 50 plus 30 minus 10. 80 minus 10 is equal to 70 percentage. So I got the value for the percentage of students failed in at least one of the subject as 70 percentage. Okay, I hope you were clear. We are just going very slow, children. So understand the concept. This type of questions will be asked for 5 marks. Okay, have you got the value? Have you taken on the value, children? So now, this was the information that we collected for the percentage of students who failed in at least one of the subject. So now I'm just going to find out the percent of students passed in at least one of the subjects. Okay. So this was failed. So I can find out the percentage of students who passed in at least one of the subject. Yes. Let's write down the detail over here. I hope you are going one below the other. The statement should be written one below the other. Just do not write like a story. So write down percentage of students. I am going to write the same statement, but in place of failed, I am going to put passed. Number of students passed in at least one of the subject. So what will be the answer, children? Here it was 70%. We have found that percentage of students failed in at least one of the subject is 70%. So what will be the answer here? Failed and passed. Yes, so out of 100, 70% is going to fail. So how many percentage will be passed? Yes, it's equal to 30%. I hope you're clear. I have given you the answers directly. We are just going to compare this statement and we are going to find out the answer over here. So I get the information that 70% of the children is going to fail in at least one of the subjects. So the percentage of students passed in at least one of the subject will be 30%. Okay. Now still we have not completed our answer. We have some more steps to be followed. Take down the steps still here, children. We'll continue our sum. Write down the statements. Okay, have you taken on the statement? Okay, let's move for the next statement. Now just see the further steps. Statements, what is given to you? Find, or before that you have a statement, 300 students passed in both the subjects. So number of children passing in both the subjects, it's 300. Okay. Find the total number of students who appeared in the examination if they took examination in only 2 subjects. So we have to find out the total number of students who is going to appear in the examination, who has appeared in the examination. Already the exam has been done, yes. So who has appeared in the examination? So write down here. So how many children have passed? 300 children have passed. So write down here. Number of students passed is equal to pass the examination. Okay, number of students passed, no problem, is equal to number of students passed gives a different meaning. Okay, so number of students passed the examination is equal to 300. Okay, so this is the information given to us. So now we have to find out the total number of students. So let's write down. So percentage of students passed was 30%. So when you talk about this both is mostly the same information. Here the information is about the number of students. The number of students passed in the examination. And here you have a detail about the percentage of students. So now you are going to compare these 2 statements. You get here, therefore, 30% is equal to 300. Percentage of student passed in the subject. At least one of the subject means he would have passed in one subject or he would have passed in both the subjects. And now here what is the statement given to you? Number of students passed in the examination. So you have to compare these two statements. So you get 30% is equal to 300. Now this is in terms of 30%, and now what are you going to do is you are going to convert this in terms of 100%. Because 100%, because why we are using 100%? Because you have to find out the total number of students who appeared in the examination. So here only we know the detail about 30%. So totally we have to find out the detail for 100%. So write down here 100% is equal to question mark. I don't know the number of students when you talk for 100% who passed in the examination. So write down the statement in this format. 30% is equal to 300. For 100% I don't know. So I have to find out. So I am going to put here x. The unknown value I am going to take it as x. Okay? Okay, now let's move to the further step. So let's see how to solve this sum. So we are going to solve this by a unitary method. If you remember, this type of method we have done in our 6th standard. Yeah, you would be thinking, yes ma'am, yesterday what you thought we don't remember, what about 6th standard? Yes children? You have to recollect the sums that we have done in our previous classes. Just see here, this is 30 and this is 300, this is 100 and this is x. So I'm just going to use a cross multiplication over here. So I'll just get here 30 into x is equal to 300 into 100. Okay, I'm just going to use a cross multiplication. So 30 into x is equal to 300 into 100. Therefore, I want to find out the value for x. Keep the number without x as it is. This is the number. What is the number with x? 30. So you are going to write down the number without x. What is the number without x? 300 into 100. Okay, now what are you going to do? You are going to write the number which is with the x. What is the number with x? 30. And 30 will come in the denominator part. Very simple. So 30 into x is equal to 300 into 100. So write down the unknown part. Write down the part without the unknown. 300 into 100. And what is with x? It's 30. So it will come in the denominator. Okay. So let's cancel the 0, 0 first. 0, 0 can be cancelled. 3 and 3 ones are 300s are 300. You know this is simple calculation. 3 into 100, 300. So you get here 100. Now just see what is the numbers left in the numerator part. 100 into 10. What is 100 into 10? 1000. How many? You have to write down 1 into 1, 1. And how many zeros are here? Totally 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Just put here 3 zeros. You get the answer as 1000. So x is equal to 1000. I hope you are clear with the calculation. Yes, so what is the value for x, children? The value for x is 1000. Now what is this x? X is the number of students who appeared in the examination. Total number of students. So totally how many children have appeared in the examination? Totally 1000 students appeared in the examination. So write down here, therefore, total number of students who appeared in the examination is 1000. Okay? Just simple, you have to just understand the statement and that's all. Write down the answer. Do the calculation, children. You have to show all the calculations. Each and every step is important. Follow up all the steps. Okay, let's continue with one more sum. Let's do the 7th sum. And just mark out one more question for your homework, children. You have to complete sum number 8 as homework. I have given you sum number 5 as homework. You have to do one more sum for homework. That is sum number 8. Okay, let's do sum number 7. Write down the question. A and B are two sets such that n of A minus B is equal to 32 plus x, n of B minus A is equal to 5x, and n of A intersection B is equal to x. Illustrate the information by means of a Venn diagram. So you have to represent, or you have to present the information using a Venn diagram. So you have to draw a Venn diagram and you are going to fill the details in the Venn diagram. Okay. Given that n of A is equal to n of B. So they have given you a condition that n of A, the number of elements in A, is equal to the number of elements in B. Calculate the value of x. So what you have to do? You have to find out the unknown value. What is the unknown value? It is x. So you have to find out the value for x. I hope you are ready with the question, children. Shall we proceed for the answer? Okay, let's start with the answer. Come on, let's work out the sum. Sum number 7. The question says that you have to represent, or you have to illustrate the information by means of a Venn diagram. So you have to draw a Venn diagram. First draw a rectangular box. And you have to show about two sets. They have given you that A and B are two sets. So we have to show two sets A and B. So draw the figure neatly, children. Draw a rectangular box. Draw two sets A and B using your scale and pencil. You can draw the circle using your pro circle or using your compass. No one is going to draw the circle with your hand. No rough work is allowed, children. AB, we have two sets AB. Yes, have you drawn the figure? Are you ready with the figure, children? Okay. Now let's fill the details that is being given to us, and later on we'll try to move to the steps. See the question carefully. A and B are two sets. So we have two sets A and B. Now you have a condition given that n of A minus B is equal to 32 plus x. N of A minus B, I'll just write down here the statement. Given n of A minus B is equal to 32 plus x, n of B minus A is equal to 5x, and also we know that n of A intersection B is equal to x. So this is being given to us. Okay, so this is the details that is given to us, and we are going to fill this detail in the Venn diagram. N of A minus B. Now what do you mean by A minus B? A minus B means I want A, I don't want B. I want A, I don't want B. So just take the A part and leave the B part. That means I don't want this B part. Are you getting my point? So you have to just focus only on this part. We don't want the B part fully. Just leave the B part aside. So what is the value for A? That is n of A minus B. It is 32 plus x. So you have to write down here 32 plus x. I hope you're clear, children. See here, n of A minus B. What do you mean by A minus B? We want A, we don't want B. So you have to just leave this set B. Don't touch B. So this value, this area gives you 32 plus x. Okay. N of B minus A is very easy. What is the meaning of B minus A? We want B, but we don't want A. We want B, we don't want A. So I have to just cover the A completely. So this area is 5x. And the last detail, n of A intersection B is equal to x. A intersection B. What do you mean by intersection? Intersection means common. So this part is x. Are you clear, children? See, we were being given with two sets. It was A and B. And you have some more details given out. N of A minus B. A minus B means I want A, but I don't want B. So you have to just focus on the A part. We are not going to take the B part. And when you talk about B minus A, you have to only focus on the B part, not the A part. And N of A intersection B is equal to X. That is the common part. Intersection means common for A and B both. Okay, let's continue our sum. So what is the detail given to us? They have given you one more condition. It says that N of A is equal to N of B. Right down here, N of A is equal to N of B. This is given to us. So write down here, given N of A, so this part, N of A is equal to N of B. This is given to you in the question. Now what is N of A? What is N of A? Just find out the value for A. So when I talk about N of A, this is A. Just see here children, this whole part is your A. Are you getting my point? See, this is A. I'm just overshading it. This is N of A. N of A means I have to take the whole circle A. So what is the value for N of A? It is 32 plus X with X plus X. Getting the point? What is N of A? 32 plus X, and this part is also added. This X is common for both A and B. Now what we are going to focus on? We are going to focus on N of A. What is N of A? N of A means you have to see the whole set. So I'll get the value as 32 plus X plus X. Now this is equal to N of B. Talk about the whole set B. So what is the value given here? It's 5X and X. The X belongs to B also. So this is equal to 5X plus X. Are you clear with the statement, children? So how you get N of A? For N of A, you have to consider the whole set A. That is 32 plus X plus X. And when you go for N of B, you have to consider the whole set B, which is X plus 5X. Or you can say 5X plus X, one and the same. Now let's solve further. Have you taken on the step, children? Just complete the step. Okay. Now let's simplify it further. Listen here carefully, children. Put your pens down and listen to me. Now this is 32 plus. What is X plus X? What is 1 plus 1? It's 2, yes? So what is X plus X? This is 2X. That is, what is the coefficient for X here? It's 1. Nothing is given, yes? So how many X do you have? You have 2X. How many X we have? 1X and 1X. So 1X plus 1X gives you 2X. Here, coming to the RHS part. How many X is over here? It's 5X. And here how many X? 1X. So 5X plus X. That is 5 plus 1. What is 5 plus 1? 6. And what is the variable used here? It's 6. What is that? X. Now children, I hope you remember that. We have studied in lower classes, if you have a number and a letter, the letter is called as the variable, okay? So you have to call the letter used in a term as variable, and this is called as a constant. The numbers are called as constants and the letters are called as variable, okay? So what is that? 5X plus X. So what is the constant there? 5 and here 1. So 5 plus 1, that is 6. And what is the variable used here? X. So you get 6X. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring the letters on one side and keep the numbers on one side. Therefore, 32 is equal to, I'm going to keep the number on one side and I'm going to bring the letters on one side. So already what is present here? 6X is present here, okay? 6X is present here. Now what are you going to do? This is plus 2X. So when plus 2X comes to the right hand side, now you know that you have LHS and RHS, yes? So the term which is on the left side is called the LHS and the term which is on the right side is called the RHS. So when you are shifting a term from LHS to RHS, now I am going to bring the 2X to the RHS. So what is the sign of 2X? It is plus. So when plus sign from LHS comes to the RHS, it becomes minus. Plus will change to minus, minus will change to plus, multiplication will change to division, and division will change to multiplication. This is a basic concept that you have to follow when you shift the term from LHS to RHS. Okay, so I'm going to bring the plus 2x to the RHS. So plus 2x will turn to minus 2x. Yes. So now let's solve further. So 32 is equal to 4x. 6x minus 2x, it's 4x. Therefore, x is equal to, now I have to find out the value for x. So x will be 32. Okay. I'm just going to take the unknown value, that is x. Now this is 32 and I'm going to bring this 4 down. So when I want to bring this 4 down, just go with the operation. What is the operation used here? It's multiplication. If no sign is mentioned, that means you have to take it as multiplication. So when multiplication goes to the next side. So where is the multiplication? The multiplication is on the RHS side. So from RHS, the 4 is going to go to the LHS. So when multiplication is being shifted, you have to change it as division. I have already told you, plus will change to minus, minus will change to plus, multiplication will change to division, and division will change to multiplication. So this is x is equal to 32 upon 4. Are you clear, children? The multiplication will change into division. So 32 upon 4. 4, what is the answer? Just divide it. Find out the answer for x, children. Yes, it's 8. 4 ones are, 4 8s are. Therefore, write down here, therefore x is equal to 8. Highlight your answer. X is equal to 8. Always you have to highlight your answer using a box. You can just draw a box over there. So x is equal to 8. Okay, children, I hope you were clear with today's work. What was the homework given to you? I have given you sum number 5 and sum number 8 as homework. And along with the sums, you have to do one more work, children. You have to come to page 29. Take page 29. Okay, just, okay, I'll give you that sum later on. Take page 30. So, page 30, you have to solve example 1.30, okay? Example 1.30 and 1.31. So, two sums. It's a solved example. You have to complete these two solved examples. So, totally you have to do 4 sums as a homework. 5th sum, 8th sum, and from page 30, 1.30 and 1.31, which is in page 31. Okay, so these 2 sums. So totally 4 sums for your homework, and we will be continuing with the remaining sums in the next class.